The right care, right at home. Australia's premier in-home care provider. Local legends want it. A Bowls Green is just up the road. Search Bowls Clubs near me.
From the wide outdoors to the great indoors, this is Without Bias.
Hello and welcome to Without Bias. Val Febbo here with you for Bowls Australia. Local legends wanted. A Bowls Green is right around the corner. Search Bowls Greens near me. Looking forward to today's show because we're still in the fallout from an amazing Australian Open. Cohen Litfin is going to join me very soon after an epic men's singles final just 2 weeks ago on the Gold Coast, as well as Val Febbo, who's going to talk about the two new signings for the Geelong Jets in November's Bowls Premier League. But before we get to that, we are going to chat with Cohen Litfin, who's fresh off a runner-up performance in the men's singles at the Australian Open, as well as a semi-final performance in the fours with the National Development Series coming up. He's a very busy man and he's taken a bit of time out of his day to join me. Cohen, welcome to Without Bias. How are you going?
Yeah, good, Val. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely no problems at all. And congrats on what was an amazing Australian Open. How have you settled in after a big 2 weeks, or settled down, I should say, because it was a pretty massive tournament for you?
Yeah, took a little bit of adjusting to be back home and, getting back into the work life side. Sort of said yesterday, I was just surprised I knew how to use the mower at work. So, other than that, it's been really good. Our pennant season just started last Saturday, so still hasn't really stopped bowling, but yeah, obviously still on a high from the 2 weeks down the Gold Coast, which was probably my best run I've had down there. It
was a pretty amazing run for you, but how much did it boost your confidence to have a run like that and, ahead of what is going to be a busy few months for yourself?
For the singles, it was probably a surprise to me because singles isn't my strongest discipline to play in, but I'd been doing a lot of practicing here at Algester, playing some singles games against my greenkeeper mate here, and I think he's been letting me win the games just to get the confidence back up. But yeah, to get that far in any singles, not just the Open, just to get to any final, yeah, it's a pretty cool.
Also, are you saying your greenkeeping colleague is the key for you to have made the final? Are you giving him the actual shout out to say he's the reason why, or maybe not that much?
I wouldn't say that. No, he did help a lot. He took a lot of time out of his day to help me. We helped each other out really, but it helped me a little bit more than him. But yeah, he's helped me a lot to get the confidence back. So I haven't really been feeling too good on the green, but it was good to have a good run and say that I think I'm back now. So.
Well, you looked absolutely sensational on the green at the Australian Open, and it was a very close final against Aaron Sheriff. It was 21-19. It's an agonising way to go down considering you were so close on that final end, but we'll get to that in a sec. But what was your key going into the match? You just knocked off Carl Healy, who's a Jackaroo, two-time world champion, and then you're going into the match against the tournament favourite, the guy who hasn't lost a singles match at the AO for 3 years. What was the key for you going in?
Well, my key was just to keep doing what I was doing through my other games, just keep doing what I usually do, not worry about what Aaron does. Obviously, I know he was going to play the long ends because that's his go-to, but I think, going into it I knew that was going to happen, so I thought if I can just hang in there with the long ends and if I can nail the jack around the tee area, I think I can hang in for most of the game. And, he got out to like a 5-shot lead at one point and I got a little bit worried, but sort of just hung in there and just said, just back yourself, you can get another shot. You never know, it can change momentum, and then that did happen. So, yeah, it was just great to share the rink with him.
And it was an amazing final, and you maintained composure in some pivotal ends in this match. Omar was asking a plethora of questions of you, but you continued to have the answer. What was the key for you to maintaining your composure throughout the match? Because most other players would have crumbled in that position, and you seemed to relish those opportunities. What was the key?
I like to be under a bit of pressure out on the green. I think I'd play better bowls when I've got a bit of pressure on me. But yeah, I was just happy to be out on the rink, just enjoying myself. Didn't really mind what happened if I won or lost. So that winning or losing wasn't really in my mind. It was just to go out there, enjoy a game of bowls, and hopefully I did win. But obviously it didn't happen this time. So hopefully one better next year.
Fingers crossed. And I think going before that final bowl, the camera's panned to you. I don't know if you've seen the footage, but you sort of were on your haunches, just covering your eyes. You're holding four, you're holding game. Omar's got his last bowl. He's on the mat. What was going through your mind at that point, and how were your nerves?
Well, to be honest, I was hoping you'd flip on the mat or something. But no, I was just saying to myself, I did enough. I was holding game. He had to play a good shot to win it. So I wasn't really too nervous. But once I saw him, once he gets that little jog up, you know he's going to be somewhere near the jack. And I saw it about 2 meters out. It was slowing right down. I started doing the old clap on the side of the leg and just knew it was going to be the shot. So yeah, it ripped the heart out of me, but it was just a cracking game to be a part of.
Yeah, it certainly was one of the best singles finals in Australian Open history, and it'll go down in folklore, that's for sure. But what did the pair of you say to each other after the match? Because it was a pretty warm embrace, and it was, as I said, one of the best matches in Australian Open history. So what were the words shared between the two of you?
I don't think Aaron really said anything. I think I said a swear word, but yeah, I just said thanks for the game, mate. Like, really proud of you. This is your rink, and I was just proud to give you a run on your own rink. And there wasn't really much to say to each other. I just let him. I think he was really excited to get the shot, and he was over the moon. So I let him go celebrate with his family and all that. So.
Yeah, nice. And it was an amazing tournament, not just in the singles for you, but in the men's pairs as well. You and Cody Packer had a pretty decent run all the way to the semi-finals. So, how special is it to perform at such a standard, getting to the final in one, semis in the pairs? It's such a standard at the Australian Open. How special is that to you?
Yeah, it's really special. It would have been great to make 2 finals, but it wasn't to be. We probably left our worst game till last in the semi-final, but I didn't really set much up for Cody then, and Lurch was absolutely on fire, as well as Flynn. But yeah, it's really special to make it that far in the pairs as well as the singles. And playing with Cody, Jackaroo, he's a good mate of mine as well. We made a deal last year. None of us won it. Last year we were going to play together, so it worked out really well.
Are you doing so again next year?
I haven't asked him yet. I don't know if he'll say yes after the last game he played.
I'll put in a word for you. Don't worry, that's fine. I've got sway with Cody. Don't worry.
Oh, I know that.
So, and your club, Algesta, it's one of the bigger clubs in Queensland. How have they celebrated your success and your event? They're a big club. They love to get around their members. So, how has that been since you got back?
Yeah, they were great. After the game, everyone sent me photos of the club here, and it was packed with all the TVs on of the game, and that made me feel really good that the club was really behind me with how the game was. Since I've been back, everyone's just been so happy for me to get to the final, put the club out, really put the club on the map now, to show that we can produce good singles players or good bowlers. Because Glenn Pitts made the semi-final last year and lost to Omar in the semi-final. And Pitsy's one of my really good mates, so we play pairs a lot together here. They've been really supportive ever since I've come back. I don't know how many messages I've got from people here. It's just ridiculous.
and they have some of the best bowling kits in the country, Algester. They've done the new kit up with Puma, and it looks awesome. We noticed it when we first got up there, Cohen. It looks amazing. Like, how awesome is it to be rocking one of those kits?
Yeah, the Puma kits are just awesome. They're so comfy. Ours is great. We got the whole puffer vest, jumpers,
Unreal.
and everything now. So yeah, and the whole design they've just done it perfectly how we wanted it to be, and yeah, we couldn't be any happier with how it is.
Yeah, it's awesome. They certainly stand out amongst the other ones. But one final one from me. You had a lot of family watching on. Your parents are in the crowd at the Australian Open. I'm sure your little one was watching on at home. How special is it to have them in the stands watching on and playing in front of your family at such a big event, in such a big occasion as well for you?
Yeah, my mum and dad and my little brother were there watching on the sidelines. Yeah, it's always special that they've followed me ever since I started bowling, however many years ago it was now. They've always been there. They've always supported me through everything, so I can't thank them enough. But yeah, to have them there sitting on the sideline watching me in a singles final was pretty good to watch. I hugged my dad at the end of the game, and it takes a fair bit to make him cry, and he was crying when I was holding him, so that made me start to tear up, which was not very nice of him to do that to me. but yeah, it was just to see him, to show how much it actually means to him and my mum as well. It's pretty awesome. And yeah, Elsie and Megan were at home. They were watching on TV. Megan put up a post of Elsie watching it, so that was really nice to see at the end of the game.
Amazing. And I can attest your mum, Beth, is an absolute legend. So yeah, it was great to meet her properly at the Australian Open. She absolutely loves watching you bowl, and as do we, Cohen. And I wish you luck for the rest of the year. And you've got the National Development Series coming up in a couple of weeks at Club Tweed. So good luck with that, and good luck with the rest of the year, mate. It was a pleasure watching you at the AO, and fingers crossed we'll see a lot more from you very soon.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Yeah, a shout out to everyone that. Same as Omar, shout out to everyone that sent messages to me and put comments on posts. I haven't got back to everyone, but I really appreciate all the support from everyone. It makes me feel really good.
Cohen Litfin there joining me on Without Bias. Right at home, emerging Jackaroo, one of the in-form bowlers in the country after a great Australian Open. Looking forward to seeing what he can do over the coming months and years. But up next, Matty Flapper, he's going to join me to chat about the Geelong Jets in the BPL and their newest signings right after this on Without Bias.
The right care, right at home. Australia's premier in-home care provider. Local legends wanted. A Bowls Green is just up the road. Search Bowls clubs near me.
From the wide outdoors to the great indoors, this is Without Bias.
You're listening to Without Bias. Val Febbo here with you for Bowls Australia. Local legends wanted. A Bowls Green is right around the corner. Search Bowls Greens near me. Now, my next guest is the one and only Matthew Flapper. He's leading this juggernaut at Ocean Grove, who are joining the Bowls Premier League in November as one of the two new licensees, the Geelong Jets they're going to be called. They've announced two very big signings today in Jamie Lee Warsnop, a right-at-home Jackaroo, and Paul Foster, MBE, one of the legends of the sport. And Matt joins me to talk about it. Matty, welcome.
Good on you, Val. Good to be on board, mate.
It's great to have you on the show. Now, congratulations on another signing today. We'll start with Jamie Lee Warsnop. How excited are you to have her as part of the team?
Yeah, we are, mate. We are really thrilled. It's all happening for the Jets. There's plenty of good news and more to come. But obviously, Jamie's a huge player for us. We've sort of identified her as the one that we want on board. You know what you get with Jamie. She's just pretty consistent, rock solid all the time. And nothing seems to faze her too much. And we think she'll fit in really well.
She's a sensational bowler. And what are some of the major attributes that you highlighted when you were picking her?
I think that was the number one. That just wherever you go, wherever you see Jamie play, you just get the same thing all the time.
Yep.
Like she's pure consistent. Currently, she's the only Australian Jackaroo that has not featured in the BPL so far. So we felt, as a franchise, we can provide that pathway for her into this event and let her showcase her talents on the big stage.
And how important was it to get a Jackaroo into the team? Obviously, Paul Foster, the first signing. We don't know who the third signing is, but to announce a Jackaroo as your second signing, how big is that for the franchise?
Well, we identified right from the start that we as a club, as a franchise, want to compete with the nation's best. And obviously this aligns with it. So we want to bring the best possible team that we can, which obviously we'll target some partners to come on board with our franchise. So return on investment is giving them something that they're going to follow, and obviously give ourselves the best chance of success just to endorse that as well.
Fantastic. Now, Paul Foster, MBE, world champion, Com Games gold medalist. How pumped are you to see Paul suit up in the jet pink in November?
Mate, when the message come through that he was confirmed, there was a few high fives going around, I can tell you, but I was lucky enough to cross paths with him in my stint playing for Australia, and I'm one that puts my hand up and holds Alex in so high regard as one of the best in the world, and I rate Paul very, very closely on that. So for us to have him on board, not just for our franchise, but for the BPL in general, we get to see Paul Foster in action. How good is that?
It's pretty amazing. And then when we see the Jets come up against the Pirates, or we think Alex Marshall's still a part of the team. We haven't seen the announcements yet, but we assume that he's still playing. But, to have both of them playing against each other, how thrilling is that going to be?
Do you reckon we've just formed a rivalry without even playing a game yet?
100%.
I think it might be built up. So how good would that be at Pine Rivers, especially? Foster v Marshall on the rink. The Brisbane Pirates going nuts. And the rest of the crowd being entertained. That's what it's all about, mate. That's why we showcase this event.
Exactly right. And what are you most excited about having him on the team? Like, obviously, he can do so much on the rink. He can play a variety of roles depending on where you need him. So what's the most exciting thing for you in terms of having Paul Foster, apart from being that draw card?
I think the flexibility, exactly what you said. No matter what we are, what position we're in, we know that if we need, someone playing the front end role, he's capable. If we need someone up the back end, you've got one of the world's best. You can call on to do it. But I think just being able to witness him on the big stage, he's probably, to be fair, he's probably done his best work on an indoor surface. So we're providing that in Australia for him, and just for him to showcase to the rest of the supporters of the BPL what he's capable of and why he's one of the world's best.
Yeah, exactly right. And especially for the club down at Ocean Grove, what does it mean to the club and you who works there and does a lot for them to say that, we're in the BPL, but look at the monstrous player that we have signed here. Like, we've come to play, we're here, we're ready to win the title in our first event. What does it mean to the club?
Again, it falls in line with what we're about, community connection. So we've got massive plans as far as, yes, the franchise is owned by Ocean Grove, but it's not about Ocean Grove. It's about the Geelong Jets. We want to get our members on board, obviously, but we want to take this further to regional Victoria, where they're jumping on board with the Jets as well. So I think having someone like Paul on board is going to obviously increase that following. And when he comes to Australia, we've got plans that we might be able to take him down to areas down that way, and whether it's a coaching seminar or a sports talk or whatever it is. He'll be involved, and they'll get to have one-on-one access with him as well.
Certainly, and take him down the Great Ocean Road, some of the best tourism that Victoria has to offer. That's a slam dunk, isn't it?
It is, mate. We've got a lot down this way, so he's probably never been down here. So that's another thing that is obviously an attraction. We just can't wait. Can't wait for November, mate.
I can't wait to see him. Now, there's two other signings to come. One is the coach, one is the third player. Can you give us any insights, Matty? Can I probe a little bit and get some insights, or do I have to wait like the rest of the country?
You might have to wait, but there's been two announcements. People are trying to put two and two together, but I can tell you it's not obvious. One is huge, and stay tuned.
All right. Well, stay tuned. Is it the Geelong Jets social pages that we need to get to?
Absolutely. If you're not on board with the Geelong Jets, certainly follow us and support us. Pink and black all the way.
Sounds good. Now, one final one from me, Matty. What can we expect from the Geelong Jets fans in November? Obviously, new franchise. The fans are such a cornerstone, and we see those late nights at Pine Rivers. They can go off. So what are we going to see from the Geelong fans? Should they be getting up and, are they raucous? Are they loud? What are we going to get from them?
You reckon the Brisbane Pirates can get loud? You wait till the Geelong Jets supporters, mate, arrive at Pine Rivers. So I think we're going to get a few followers, mate. It's so super exciting. Obviously, we've got untapped potential down this way to create a pretty strong following, and I expect to get a fair few on the bus or on the plane up to Brisbane.
Looking forward to it, Matty. And just one final plug for you before I let you go. Where can people follow along with the Geelong Jets?
Yeah, jump on Facebook, search Geelong Jets, like the page or follow the page through Twitter and also Instagram, Geelong Jets.
Absolutely fantastic. Thank you, Matty. I look forward to seeing the next couple of announcements coming. If what you're saying is true and it's huge, I think the nation can wait the world, in fact, can wait with bated breath to see who is coming on board for the Geelong Jets in November at BPL 20. Matty Flapper, thank you very much for joining me.
Good on you, Val. Thanks, mate. Thanks for your time.
Matty Flapper joining me on Without Bias. Great to have him as part of the show. He's a BPL stalwart. He loves the tournament. He understands the event and, how amazing it really is. And to sign Paul Foster and Jamie Lee Warsnott for the Geelong Jets, it is truly amazing. But that's about all we've got time for on Without Bias tonight. Of course, you can catch up on our latest episodes via our YouTube channel at Bowls Australia, as well as all the other content that we produce in video-wise as well. Audio, you can subscribe to The Right Line, Bowls Australia's official podcast via Apple, Google, Spotify, wherever you get your podcasts from. And stay in touch with BA's social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and so on, so forth, YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you like, you can stay in touch with Bowls Australia. A big thank you to Cohen Litfin and Matt Flapper for joining me on the show. It's been Val Febbo. Have a great week.